sometimes expanded them to go up to 40 minutes.
Doing very well, so they use that term.
All of those things in education, of course, those things are important.
Is going to our heads and our lungs.
The affirmations in the mirror for about 2 minutes.
They make all sorts of mistakes. Without that,
this is amazing.
and doing new things for our brain.
Normal, in a sense, with all of the changes.
Which parts of the brain are used?
Them get out of their own way and understanding automatic patterns and
based on that map that we have.
There's neural connections that, mindfulness is a part of life.
Hi, frog, how do you do? Yes, I'd like.
So if they aren't, just keep it aside. Your work, keep it.
Good emotions.
How to use their observations to inform assessments.
Regulation in their nervous system.
With your smiling.
Atul, thank you very much for allowing me to join you. Namaste to you, my friends.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the Early Childhood Global Spotlight Show. I'm your host, Atul Tyagi from India. I'm also a co-founder of a preschool chain in the name of Wow Kids with more than 150 centers spread across 20 states of our country. Now, before we get started, I'd like to congratulate each one of us who are a member of this Early Childhood Global Mastermind community and have contributed in making this group to 10,000 members in less than 6 months. We are one of the most sought after group globally, I would say, and thanks to Marion Herman for being our moderator, our inspiration, and pushing us to reach that level and contribute to the society by sharing a lot of information on this group. So thank you everyone for joining us. And if you're just new here, we do these spotlight live streams every Sunday 9 p.m. my time, which is Indian Standard Time, which is 10:30 a.m. EST in the US. The point of these shows is to simply inspire others and share more and more knowledge on early childhood. And I'm really excited by the guests that we have today. Where's the guest gone? Okay, let me get her.
Oh, look at there. She's a pop-up guest.
Yes. So today we have Liz Hannon and our very own Marion Herman. Both of them have joined from the US. And before we get started, I would like to give a very small introduction of Liz Hannon. Liz is a creative preschool music teacher in California, USA. Liz business, music and moves and more is influenced but not limited to the philosophy of Maria Montessori. Liz's expertise is in music in comprehensive. Her background includes presentations for the Bay Montessori Association and a variety of workshops on preschool music throughout the San Francisco Bay Area. Currently, Liz presents 8 circles of music each week in 5 preschools and directs a children's choir with 52 children from 1st to 6th grade. Wow. I always wanted to sing in a choir when I was young, but then nevertheless, still I have the same passion. Liz Hannon's warm, engaging strategies honor the natural rhythms of children. She incorporates strong elements of play and movement in presentations of music that strengthen the auditory, visual, and vestibular systems. We'll have to get her online again. We seem to be losing her. All right, Liz, you're back. So also we have, along with Liz, we have Marion Herman, who is, we all know, she's the founder of Music with Mar. She is master's in education with an emphasis in early childhood education. Also, she's, she has a wonderful program, Music with Mar, with over 40 recordings. Her music has won several awards We've told them again and again. Again, I would like to tell her awards includes Parents' Choice Award winners, John Lennon's Songwriter Awards, and several other national awards. And she is, her music is offered through renowned channels like Discovery Channel, Spotify, Hoopla, iTunes, and other distributors. We are proud to have Music with Mer certification for Wow Kids and using her wonderful program every day in our virtual classroom. And I'm sure soon we will start using, when the schools reopen, physically Music with Mer in all our classrooms. Again, friends, welcome to both the ladies on our Spotlight show. Today it's a very, very important topic. Over to Marion to take this discussion further. I will just hop by, once again before we go off the screen while, towards the end of the show. Over to you, ladies. All
Thanks,
right.
Atul.
Take
And
care.
thank you for your kind words and constant support. I appreciate it very
Thank
much.
you. Okay, over to you, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Liz. So you and I met because of the Children's Music Network, which many people may not know what that is, but it is a group of independent recording artists and music teachers that work mostly in early childhood. And they get together once a year to share their ideas. And we met there. I did a workshop and you attended. And then when we have our circle at the end, you got on stage and I thought, this woman knows what she's doing, because you get up there and you just get everybody in your hand. And I think it's wonderful. So tell everybody how you came to start working in early childhood music, because we each have our own story of how that happened. We're musicians, and then we wind up working in early childhood. How did that happen for you?
Well, very interestingly, life is what happens when you're making other plans.
Yes, John.
So I had been a folk singer, and then I got married and I started a family, and I didn't sing or play guitar for many years. Decided I would get a good guitar and take some lessons. And I think it was only 3 months into that a priest saw me with the guitar, and really he was very forceful and consistent and persistent. And then he convinced me to help him start a family choir. I said, okay, I'll help you. And we were immediately successful. My children were going to that Catholic school, and families joined us. And by the end of the year, the priest left and the other guitar player left, and it was put in my hands. And from that, I ended up teaching music, sharing songs, basically, in the school. I did all of the Christmas shows, the spring concerts. I became a wedding singer, baptisms, anything that happened. Then I was asked, would I do an 8th grade play? I said, I've never done that. Oh, we think you can do it. And so I said, well, I'll try. And I did the 8th grade play. I choreographed. I did everything. And then I was asked to direct adults in the Peninsula Children's Theater Association for their performance. I was asked to do that twice. So I just, because other people asked me to do these things, I try. And I thought, okay. Then the last thing that I was asked to do became my favorite, and that was to teach music in a Montessori preschool. And a director said she'd like me to play in the school, teach music in the school. And I said, oh, I don't do preschool. And she said, I've watched you with your children's choir, your junior high choir, your high school choir, and your adult choir. You're a natural. Then another director of 2 schools said almost the same thing. I know. And I said, well, I'll try. Let me come and sit on the floor with the children and we'll see what it's all about. Well, I walked in, I just felt at home.
Yeah.
I felt peaceful. I felt safe. I didn't know what to do, but I knew I was. And so, because of people's belief in me and my willingness to just try,
That's right.
I had a complete, amazing career with music, and the preschool arena is my favorite.
Well, you know,
So
it's
that's
interesting.
my story.
It's interesting that we had, and when I came out, one time I was out in the San Francisco area to work with the Bay Area Montessori teachers group because of Liz. And then I got to come back and work with Apple Montessori. And it was such a wonderful experience. And in our conversations, we found so much in common. I did not know that you got brought into this the same way I did by a pushy nun at the Catholic school that our family members were attending. So we have that in common as well. But, you know, I know that you didn't choose. You didn't say, well, I want to work with Montessori. You were just brought there. And there's a lot of methodologies out there. But you were brought into the Montessori methodology. Talk about that a little bit. What is it about that is different? Why you enjoy working with it?
Well, I didn't know anything about it, and there was nothing handed to me, like no prep, just do it. And so I had a lot of songs and I had a lot of movement, and I, let's see, I just fell in love with it. And so I became very curious, very centered, and very creative to find out more about Montessori and then create a circle of music that was an extension of the children's everyday experience in the classrooms. That meant I had to find out, what is that? So I started networking and I took classes. I read all her books, her biography. And if I had to say in a nutshell, what is the Montessori method? I compare it to a tea ceremony where everything is, it's very precision. The way that they present materials to the children. It's like a magic show, the way they move their hands. It's usually done in silence. In one of my networking evenings, I stuffed envelopes just to be near other teachers. And I heard them talking about, how do I present that to the children? One teacher said, I'm thinking I'm going to do some art or whatever. And she said, but I don't know how to present it to the children. So I went and I researched, what does that mean? What is that about? So what sets Montessori apart, I think, is not so much what they do, but how they present it. The other thing that sets it apart, I just did some research on Reggio Emilia and Waldorf, the materials that they use. So I image searched it. And from what Google Images showed me, a lot of the materials in those schools and in play-based, Teacher Tom is one of your members, and I love his play yard. He calls it the junkyard, and that's exactly what it looks like. I love it. But the Montessori materials are very calibrated. They're manufactured. They're beautiful. They're didactic, which means it's like a puzzle. There's one way to do it correctly. So the beauty of that is the teacher presents it, and then the child is free to go do it. And because there's a right and a wrong way to do it, the child no longer needs the teacher. The child knows, oh, this doesn't fit there. I have to start again, or I have to find the one that fits in the order. So they're very didactic, they're manufactured, they're precise, and they're very expensive. And there's a particular way. Go ahead.
How does that translate into music and instruments?
Well,
because
yeah, in the early 1900s, Maria Montessori, along with a woman named Maria Macaroni. I tried to find an audio. How do I pronounce that? They worked together. The other Maria was very educated in music and music theory. So they worked together and they created very elaborate and elegant bells. They're metal, they're handmade, they're still made the same way. They are, if you can imagine, there's two images I'll give you. One is an old library desk bell that you and I might remember from American libraries, or little mushrooms. They're on a, let me see if I can show you there.
Yes.
They all look like that, and then on a little platform. And it's a very intricate manipulation. There's chromatic. They're all laid out on a shelf, and they have black and white ones for sharps and flats. And there's a specific way to move the bells and to strike them to get the pitch and to match the pitch. And then there's level after level from that. Well, the challenge is I ended up within 2 or 3 years teaching in 15 preschools. None of them had Montessori. None of them had the bells for a couple of reasons. They're very expensive. Many teachers do not feel confident to present the bells and to take them on those different levels. And then most schools don't have the space to display them and to have all that music going on. They're very intricately pitched and a lot of overtones if they're hit too hard, which you can understand. So most schools, I've been in, I think, 23 over the years, and none of them have them. Now, go ahead.
If I may interrupt here, I know I had shared with you, and I don't think Atul knows this, but that I taught in a pre-K that was Montessori inspired. And I know that we have the pure Montessori, and then we have the American Montessori. And I brought the bells into our school. But then again, they were a modified version. And those I know because it's easier for the little guys if they can hit the top instead of having to shake the bell and stop it. You know, a 3 or 4 year old's not going to be able to do that. So we use the ones where you tapped on them. And I absolutely love using those with the little guys. But as you say, yeah, a lot of schools don't want to have to worry about where to store them or the kids dropping them, and they're so expensive. But then again, that's not really the point, is it? The point is the experience.
Well, I did the same thing. I got creative. I thought, what can I bring? So I bought those rainbow colored handbells that you lift and strike just like brass bells.
Yeah.
And I put them out on a rug. I drew a staff so that they could see a music staff and they could see a descending scale. Yeah. And then I bought the other kind. And then one of the things in Montessori is different materials get passed around the circle. So I got a tray, I put C, E, G on the tray, and I put them so that it emulates how they would look ascending in the staff. And the children took turns playing all, those 3 notes. I passed around the one that you tap, because I came once a week to share music. That's not common in a Montessori environment. In an international trained, a school that's considered Association Montessori International, I was told at the training center that they didn't recommend the bells for preschool. They're, like you say, Marianne, they're quite intricate manipulation and process. And in that type of Montessori, the children have 3 hours uninterrupted to choose the activities, the materials they want to work with. And so it's very rare that a school have someone like me come in and disrupt that morning. I was lucky that over the years, so many of them did hire me, and that I was able, some of my schools, I can go early and I observe and I listen, and I developed my music and moves and more based on the books I read, the training I took, the workshops I went to, and all the networking that I did. And so I sit in a circle with 20 to 24 children, and when I share something, I do it in a Montessori fashion. The materials in Montessori are usually in a container, a beautiful basket, an intricately carved box, a bag. I think Atul told me that his schools have the mystery bag. And so my, let me see if you can see this, my pitch pipe I have in a little bag. And I take it out very precisely so the children see it. And they're just glued to it. And then I play the entire circle. And then I go to the pitch of the song that I want to share with them. Eventually, I can say, let's think about a particular song. Is this the right pitch for that song? And then I play the opposite pitch. I play a sharp and a flat, and then as the year goes on, I get closer and closer. By the end of the school year, my students can tell within a half a step, yes or no. And they are 3, 4, and 5-year-olds all in one circle.
Wow.
So having that formula, that Montessori model, pleased me, because that way I could become an extension of the children's everyday experience in the environment. Maria Montessori said the number one thing is respect for the child. Respect for the child. So the teachers emulate it, model it with each other, and then to the children not only give it back to us, teachers, but to each other. So if they want to ask me a question, they'll say, "Excuse me, Miss Liz," and then they'll ask a question. So Montessori. Go ahead.
It seems like you took the Montessori method, and because you're the type of person that doesn't come in and go, okay, now this is how Liz does it, you're not. So you came in and you watched and you said, how do I take my knowledge of music and make it fit into this Montessori philosophy? I was not aware that Montessori did not allow a music teacher to come in. And So that's a brand new piece of information for me. And I know that when I did the training out there, the focus was on teaching all the Montessori teachers how they could use music and not have to rely on another person coming in. But, you know, that's kind of like what we do a lot of the time, because we know that the average classroom teacher finds music a little intimidating, so they don't bother. And which is why the Music with Mayor Masterclass and certification was such a passion of mine, you know, to get people to understand that you need a music person to help you understand why and how you can incorporate music into their curriculum. And you've done that so beautifully for Montessori. I know that Waldorf and Reggio have similar concepts. And one of the main differences I saw was that, you know, Marie Montessori got started because of the street children, or, you know, the impoverished children that needed some direction and structure in their life. And it's just interesting how, when in times of upheaval, people turn to a how do we find someone to make a curriculum to help the children? Because Waldorf and Reggio both started after World Wars. You know,
Right.
the countries were looking for ways to help the children after these traumatic experiences. And
Exactly.
yeah, and they're just all a little bit different. And Waldorf, from my perspective, has always been the one that was the more music centered, because Rudolf Steiner was such an artsy kind of person. And we keep getting, you know, comments once in a while, so sometimes it's good to look at them and respond. Preeti is talking about the Montessori toys as being essential for mental and physical growth because of finger grip and eye-hand coordination. And yes, the question with that has always been, what Liz, you brought up, is that they're so expensive that a lot of preschools are trying to find a workaround. And so you have taken the music and made it provide all those things that the toys provide.
Well, I have to give you, I want to give you credit for planting the seeds in me in 2006 when I met. And those seeds are like the Chinese bamboo tree. The Chinese bamboo seeds remain dormant in fertile soil for 5 years and then 80 feet of growth.
Wow.
So when I met you, I gave a workshop in Asheville on how I present Montessori. And my presentation today, totally different, because I keep evolving and the children change. But those seeds stayed there. And then following you on Facebook, reading your brain facts, those seeds started to percolate and fertilize and grow. And I also looked into primitive reflexes. And so when I first started in Montessori, sharing music, my focus was music, teaching them music. So my students knew piano, pianissimo, legato, all sorts of terminology, and everyone was impressed. And I was passing glockenspiels around the circle, and everybody waited while 20 children had a turn. And at first, because it was unique, as I say, it's not that music teachers are not allowed. They're really not necessary when all of the teachers are sharing songs and movement all the time.
Yes.
But as you said, many teachers were intimidated by music. Our culture in the United States became specialized, and we got away from singing and dancing because we got more money, we had stereos, it's piped in everywhere. but not through us. So I was privileged. I'm very privileged to be able to do that. And so then my focus, thanks to you, became the brain. Movement begins life. Movement grows the brain, creates the brain, and movement grows the brain. Would you agree? Okay. So I kept reading all your stuff, and you led me to the vestibular system, proprioception, this part, that part, you know. And so this is it in a nutshell. My first thing is random movement. And those of you working with children know that whatever you do, they'll follow you. So it's just random. And
I'm following you.
Yeah, I don't make eye contact with them because that's communicating with one child, which eliminates the others. And it could intimidate that child. So I'm just like this. And once I can see that all the children are just moving, then I put the beat. So I like clap and pat because gravity pulls the body a little forward. It's very easy for them to do as opposed to everybody just clapping. So we're still moving and we're doing this. And then I use what's called a vocable or sound. Just ba is easy. Ba 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 da 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 ba 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 ba. I just use too many sounds there. I always do just ba. I'm nervous. Okay. So then now we're moving randomly. We've got the beat in our body, and that tapping is good for stimulation. Okay, we're on a steady beat, and then we stop. And then I say, be my echo, please. Or I say, my turn, your turn. Bim bom. Bim bom. Razzmatazz. So I do the lyrics. I chunk the lyrics down so that they learn the lyrics. And then we go back. Bim bom, razzmatazz, tish tosh, wally woo woo. So I don't have to spend a lot of time teaching a song over and over and over. I started teaching songs, lovely songs that all the teachers like and parents like, beautiful imagery. Each of us is a flower, a lot of lyrics. But I noticed, thank you, Marianne, that when I really focused on movement and balance and the beat, and then the lyrics, then the voice comes out, and then the lyrics, the behavior, the connection with all the children. My circles have mixed ages. So the older ones are typically what I call RTLs, ready to launch students. The younger ones I call SCUPs, SCUPS, still catching up students. And they're usually the younger ones, but it might be aunt at this day for that song. An older child is a SCUP. They're like, what?
Yeah.
Focusing on movement and just fun, play. That's why I love Teacher Tom. We're just going to play. And I say that let's play astronauts. Let's play farmers. Let's play in the barnyard. And then the song brings us there in our imagination, and our bodies bring us there physically. I noticed a huge shift that all the children were engaged. If you excuse me 1 minute, it's morning here, and can you see the sun shining?
Don't worry about it. No, it's good. Just keep going. It's good.
Okay.
You just have a dot on your nose.
Okay, so I'm trying to avoid that. So I do things to move the body and to stimulate the brain. And one thing Marianne taught me in Asheville in 2006, use kazoos. So my kazoo is in a little pouch, and sometimes we just listen to the zipper, and then I take out my kazoo. And to get their brain going, to get them in their head, individually, I use the kazoo, and they have to listen, and if they know the song, tell me the song. And then I'd start with the super simple song that I know they'll all know. Then it gets a little more challenging. We call it tricky. Make it tricky, Miss Liz, make it tricky. So this is my favorite story about doing that. I did it to a song that I'm not going to do with you because it's from another, it's not so common. And many of you are around the world. Good morning. And so I did this song, and there's a little boy and a little girl always sit next to each other right in front of me. And the little girl says, that's London Hill. And the little boy takes her face and moves it, and they are nose to nose. And he says, no, it's Dirty Bill. They were both wrong. But I kept playing and playing, and I saw their eyes looking here, and they were in their head trying to pull that song. They knew the song. We did it a lot of the time. They had to pull it up because a lot of children's songs sound similar. There's 10 of them that are all in C major that only play those 8 notes. So that's
right.
So when I went, thanks to Marianne, when I went, my focus became movement and the brain. It revolutionized my circle. I just took your training. And once again, as I said in a comment, you constantly are putting batteries in my energy pack and you're recharging them. Oh, okay, yeah. So, and I wanted to comment on Preeti's comment. The 3-fingered grasp is essential in the Montessori, in every environment, to prepare the children for the pencil. 3 fingers. Can you see that? Yeah, 3 fingers. There she is. Okay. So the Montessori bead pyramid is my favorite material, one of my favorites, to talk about the Montessori environment. There's 10 layers for the decimal system. Now let's say the top one is the child proficient with a pencil and paper. We don't give a preschooler a pencil and paper, show them how to draw numbers, and then say, practice, practice, practice. We have all this as the foundation. So I'm just going to take these off and show you the bottom one. There are 100 beads in here, and they are woven together with very strong wires. And in the environment, there are many activities that use the 3-fingered grasp. Okay, before the pencil, they push pins into cork. They pick up little cotton balls and sort them. They sort buttons. They do all of that kind of 3-fingered manipulation. And then they start to work with the pencil. This is where I am with music. I'm the bottom of that music pyramid. I want that child at the top to be proficient, steady beat, singing in tune, and I want them to enjoy it the whole time. So there are many things that I do to get that child proficient. And Marion Harman's training has strengthened that foundation so that the
Thank
next
you.
layer has 90, the next layer has 80. There we go.
Well, you have really gone above and beyond my expectations for today. You've really pulled it all together, like in things that I hadn't thought of, and made it all so concise and easy for people to understand. And that whole thing about you didn't say this quote, but you are not teaching music now. You are using music to teach, and the idea of them understanding piano versus pianissimo is something that they'll get because of the way you present it. I think that it's just been fantastically wonderful, and I do appreciate your comments. Thank you so much for letting me know that it influenced you. I influenced you so much. You influenced me as well. We have just a few minutes left, so I want to wrap things up, but I do want to say that Liz did take the certification, and I am so happy that she did, because the more people that take it, the more that can go out and use this type of teaching. So I hope that when we offer it again, we'll have even more people coming on and understanding the things that Liz and I do, and why they're so easy for you to do as well. It's just common sense. Hi, Karen. Good to see you here today, too. And so a couple of months ago, Atul had suggested that every Thursday I come online with a musical fun with Mare. And I do still do that, but I decided, it's not all about me. I wanted other wonderfully talented people in this group to be able to share those spotlights with me. And Liz, you have one coming up soon. I forget the date right now, but pay attention. Liz is going to be coming on and demonstrating some of these activities. And the purpose of the musical fun with Mare was that I didn't just come on and sing songs with you and entertain you, but I was coming on and teaching a song and saying, and this is why you should do the song. This is what's happening. Liz is going to do the same thing in her magical moment that's coming up soon. And I see Atul has rejoined us, so he probably wants us to end this. So I'm not going to ask my last question. I was going to ask her about the Montessori associations that are around, and how it's helpful to belong to them and why. But if you want to just take over, Atul, I can be quiet. I do know how to stop talking.
No, absolutely. I found this so interesting, so experiential, and
She's great.
I'll always love the live shows where our speakers brought in something to show and actually made it very experiential. Liz, I'm very, very excited and thankful for you to have shared all your knowledge. Carry on, Marion. I think you have your last question.
Yes,
So
I wanted Liz to
put that. So you belong to the Bama group. Why is belonging to an association helpful, and what would you recommend to others, Liz? I think this is the last question, Marion. Is it
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes.
And I was, because of Liz's invitation, I went and presented to this group. And it is an awesome group in San Francisco, California. So, Liz, the benefits of the group and why others should start them. You need one in India.
Oh, yes, definitely. And in fact, let me, while you were talking to each other and Liz was giving the importance of Montessori material, let me tell you, there are a lot of preschools in our country, in India. And, when I traveled outside also, they called themselves as Montessori schools, but didn't have any of the material. Okay, and I was very, very surprised because having gone through the training and even incorporating that not fully, a very minimal portion of the Montessori curriculum in our curriculum at Wow Kids. Um, we know that there is a certain amount of Montessori material, and yes, it is expensive, and that is the reason we started manufacturing it for our partners. We, because it was very very expensive for us to import it from other country, or maybe, so we have we get it manufactured, and thankfully we have some, there's a company in rural part of India who does that for us, so we give some kind of employment to them also, and they just try to copy the kind of Montessori toys that we expect to
Yeah.
give it to our partners. Anyways, yes, Liz, over to you. You belong to the Bama group. Why is belonging to that association helpful, and what would you recommend to others?
I think that there seems to be a problem
Well,
when
it
there's
was
the three
helpful
of
to
us on.
me.
Yeah, no. I think she's frozen. Yes, Liz, carry on. We are listening to you.
I highly recommend networking. When you want to do something, you go to those people who are successful in that field. So Marianne is my go-to resource. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Marianne is my go-to person. Yeah, very.
Oh, we lost.
Atul, there seems to be like when you joined us and there were three on her, I think maybe her Wi-Fi.
No, no, no. That is irrespective. We all join from our own Wi-Fi's, and this is a cloud-based
Yes.
broadcast, so it doesn't have to do anything with us. Anyways, yes, yes, Liz.
Okay.
Liz, can you hear? Yeah.
Networking is really crucial, I think. Yeah. My my pastor asked me to take on the adult choir, I said, absolutely not. I have no skill. And he said, you surround yourself with strong people. That's what you do. And that's what belonging to an association offers to you. Belonging to a Facebook group, a strong one like you've just created. You listen, you watch, you learn, and you share. And you either learn new things that strengthen what you're doing, or you learn, hey, what I'm doing is a strong thing, is a good thing, and continue to do it. Every area in this country has a Montessori association. Some of them are huge,
Yes.
some are small. And I recommend to people, go and network with other people. And Atul, I want to comment on your surprise that some Montessori schools did not have the materials.
Yes.
Montessori
Even I
never
was.
trademarked her method.
Right.
So
He did not.
people can open a Montessori school and they all look different because there's no right.
Right.
Could be. Well, we at Wow Kids
So
are
that's
also
why
member
Facebook,
of.
you have
Uh,
that button that says, I can't hear
all right,
you.
Liz, so yes, yes. So what I was sharing is that we at Wow Kids are also a member of American Montessori Society, and we have taken this membership, I think, 5 years back, and we still continue to be their
Oh,
member,
yeah.
and we keep getting their all booklets and all the journals that they publish. They send it to us. We keep seeing what is going on and what kind of innovation. And so Montessori, I believe, has gone to a different level in the past 4 to 5 years. There are a lot of experiential more activities, of sensory activities that they've put in. I think Liz, uh, yeah.
She might pop back on. But
Yes.
she did fantastic. I am very pleased with the presentation that Liz put together for us today. I've learned a few new things, and
Absolutely. And Marion, we can't thank you enough for being so inspiring to so many. I didn't really uh, never thought that Liz would be also you would have inspired her also. And very well, that you said that she uses music to teach. She is not a music teacher, but she
yeah,
uses music. So that's a
that's
very very important line that I took, that
that's
teaching through music.
that's the Music with Mayor tagline. Music with Mayor. We don't teach music. We use music to teach. That's our
Absolutely.
tagline. Yep.
Yes, yes. All right, I think we've had a good discussion for more over 50 minutes now. So I think all people who are watching would have had a fantastic time. And we had an amazing spotlight show with Liz today, and also Marion on the connection of music with Montessori. I hope this discussion would have been beneficial for a lot of us. My sincere thanks once again to Liz for accepting, and my apologies that it had to happen last weekend, but due to some personal reasons, I couldn't, have this show streamed last weekend. And so Liz thankfully agreed to come on the show today. I'm very, 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 very grateful for you, Liz, to have joined us today on this show. And thank you so much, Marion, for taking your precious time out. I
Always.
hope you all have a very great day, and happy weekend. Today is a Sunday. I think you have the entire day. For us, Sunday is getting over. Stay safe until we meet again, friends, next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hang in there, Liz.